us to play our part in addressing the root causes of crime and violence in our communities. The 90-day campaign is proposed as an initiative that is government-led but society-driven. To highlight that while government leadership is crucial, the success of this campaign and our ability to transform cultures of violence depends on the collective efforts of every segment of society. Today's engagement with the Prime Minister is an important precursor to a national consultation and campaign that will extend over 90 days and beyond. The journey, we hope, will be a truly collaborative one, where we engage in a series of activities, including a national consultation on violence as a public health issue, community-focused events, and family-oriented activities. These are designed not only to reduce crime and violence in the long run, but to also build stronger, healthier communities that can thrive in more sustainable ways. I look forward to hearing your insights, your concerns, and your ideas.
You know, as I was coming here this morning, I said that we have finally reached the point where we can truly address the issue of violence and crime, for all acts of violence are not criminal acts, and all criminal acts are not acts of violence. But I say that to say that it would have been many years that this issue would have been studied in the Caribbean and the Americas. And those of us who are in the medical field would have been gathering the data and sending the alarm that if we don't address the issue, we will end up here, hopefully. But I'm happy that it's not a hope, but we are here. And finally, we have decided to tackle the issue and tackle it from the only perspective that it can truly be tackled, and that is by looking at it as a public health issue with a whole of society approach and with whole of society at the table. And so with that, I want to say good morning to all and to welcome you to this forum where we will sit and discuss as stakeholders, citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, citizens of the Caribbean, and citizens of the world, to address in a holistic way the issue of violence, the issue of crime, and the issue of violent crimes, and especially the issue of gun violence. Let me recognize the head table, Minister Iselin, also the Commissioner, Commissioner Sutton, P.S. Blanchett, and of course, Post Personnel Officer, Ms. Carey, and to also recognize in the room the representative from the People's Action Movement, in the person of Ms. Gray, Mrs. Gray Brooks, and to welcome the various stakeholders who are here. I see members from across the government, of course, and the different ministries and departments, but I also see those from other organizations or NGOs, such as the City Taxi Association, the UN. I see the Chamber is also here. I see religious groups and faith groups, Rastafari group, the Christian group, sports, drug council, political representation, and I would say that the room, of course, has a broad cross-section of our society. So I want to welcome all of you to this first, I would say, collaboration, as it's the start of a never-ending collaboration between all of us who are members of this society. I would say, in the words of our national anthem, O land of beauty, our country where peace abounds. These words penned by the late Kenrick Georges echo the hopes and dreams of every Kittitian and Nivision. They speak to the tranquility, harmony, and security that we as a people have cherished for generations. Yet today, these words ring hollow for many of us as we grapple with an insidious threat, gun violence, that threatens, of course, the essence of our beloved federation. Let us reflect for a moment on what peace truly means. Peace is more than the absence of war or conflict. It is a state of mind, a sense of security, and the freedom to live without fear. It is knowing that when you leave your home in the morning, you will return safely at night. But today, that peace is under siege. Our streets, once bustling with life and joy, are now too often the scenes of bloodshed and despair. The sound of gunfire seemingly seeks to replace laughter of our children as fear of violence looms over our communities like a dark cloud. This has been happening for too long, for too many decades. This is not the St. Kitts and Nevis we know and love. This is not the future we envisioned for our children. And this is not the legacy we will leave behind. As your Prime Minister, as a father, as a medical doctor, and as a citizen of this great nation, I am here to tell you that the situation cannot and will not continue. Violence and crime must be tackled, and be tackled holistically and effectively. Over the past decade or more, we have seen a troubling rise in gun-related crimes, not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but across the Caribbean. The epidemic of violence has claimed the lives of too many of our young men and women, lives full of potential, but cut short by senseless acts of brutality. We have mourned the loss of sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors. And let me say, each life lost is a tragedy, a blow to our nation's soul, because each life is precious. I want to also add that this year, the United States, in its history, for the first time, has declared gun violence a public health crisis by the Surgeon General. So this is a hemispheric matter as we speak. As a father, as I understand the fear that grips parents when their children step out of the house. My son, like many of your children, is growing up in a world where the threat of violence is a constant shadow. And therefore, I share your anxieties, your sleepless nights, your prayers for safety. And I grieve with you for every family that has lost a loved one to the scourge of violence, in this case, gun violence. But grief alone is not enough. Anger alone is not enough. We must channel our emotions into action, decisive action, that is coordinated and must be sustained. We must ask ourselves, what is responsible for these senseless acts of evil and acts of violence? What are the solutions to this epidemic of crime throughout our region and our hemisphere? Who is responsible for solving this crisis? And most importantly, what can each of us do to make our communities and our nation safer? So today we gather as key stakeholders in this fight against crime and violence. And you represent the diverse sectors of our society. Today we have civil society organizations, the chamber as mentioned before, advocacy groups, community-based organizations, religious organizations, political organizations, and more. Your presence here is a testament to your commitment to building a safer St. Kitts and Nevis. And therefore, I want to thank each and every one of you for your commitment. And I urge you to approach this dialogue with open minds and a shared sense of purpose. This is not a political issue. It is a national issue. It's the only way to tackle the issue of violence and crime effectively in any community or society. So let me be clear. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is fully committed in its fight against crime and violence. We have made significant investments in our national security apparatus, allocating the largest budget for security or the Ministry of National Security in our nation's history. We are providing our police force with the resources, training, and technology they need to combat crime effectively. But let me also be clear that while the government can and will provide support, we know that the responsibility for fighting crime lies primarily with our security forces. They are on the front line in this battle, and they must and they will step up their efforts to protect and serve the people of this nation. But they need our support. Our police officers are not just enforcers of the law. They are protectors of our communities. They're the ones who walk the streets, who know the neighborhoods, who interact with the people. They're the ones who must lead the charge against crime with the full backing of the government and the community. And I say to our police officers today that we stand with you. We will support you in every way possible, but we also expect you to rise to the challenge. The safety and security of our nation depend on our courage, your diligence, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. To our security forces, I urge you to continue building relationships with the communities you serve. Community policing is not just a strategy. It is a philosophy that recognizes the importance of trust, collaboration, and mutual respect between the police and the public. When the community trusts the police, they are more likely to cooperate with law enforcement, to report crimes, and to provide valuable information that can prevent violence before it occurs. In the coming days and weeks, you will see a significant increase in police presence in our communities. We have exponentially increased mobile and foot patrols in crime hotspots, and we have recently acquired new vehicles to assist our security forces in their crime prevention activities. These measures are part of a broader 90-day campaign that will focus on immediate and short-term actions to combat violent crimes, particularly gun-related violent crimes. This campaign will also include medium and long-term strategies to ensure that the gains we make in the coming months are sustained forever. For this must never end. It has to become part of our DNA. But let us not forget that crime is not just a policing issue. It is a societal issue. It is rooted in a complex web of social, economic, and cultural factors that must be addressed if we are to achieve lasting security. That is why your government is committed to a holistic approach to crime prevention, one that includes not only law enforcement, but also includes education, community engagement, and social services, etc. Last year, for example, CARICOM held a regional symposium where heads of government, including myself, recognized crime and violence as a public health issue. And our very own Dr. Isben Williams was the keynote speaker, as he has been studying the issue in our society, specifically in the Caribbean and the hemisphere, for many years. We resolved to adopt a public health approach to violence prevention, one that is evidence-based and scientific in the approach of dealing with crime and violence and promoting the well-being of all of our citizens. This approach involves identifying the risk factors that lead to crime and violence and implementing interventions that can mitigate these risks. The reason why a public health approach is being taken is because, and I want to stress this, is because violence is a disease and must be treated as such. Violence is a disease and must be treated as such. Hence, the public health approach. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we are already taking steps to implement this public health approach. We are expanding our educational and vocational training programs to provide young people with the skills they need to succeed in the workforce. We're investing in mental health services to support those who are struggling with trauma, addiction, and other issues that can lead to violence. And we are working to strengthen family and community ties, recognizing that strong, resilient communities are the foundation of a safe and peaceful society. To this end, we will establish a new department of government that will be called the Department of Citizen Security, that will coordinate and ensure the holistic implementation of this new approach. Our 90-day campaign will include a series of national consultations on violence and crime as a public health issue. These consultations will bring together stakeholders, many of you who are here, from all sectors of society to discuss the root causes of crime and to develop collaborative solutions. A number of initiatives and activities will be a key part of the 90-day campaign. But these initiatives will only succeed if we have the support and the participation of the entire community, the entire country. This is why I am calling on every citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis to take an active role in this fight against violence and crime. Whether you are a parent, a teacher, a business owner, a community leader, you have a role to play in making our nation safer. To the parents of this nation, to myself also, talk to your children about the dangers of violence and the importance of making positive choices. Be aware of what they are doing and who they are associating with. Provide them with the love, guidance, and support they need to stay on the right path. I too heed these words. To the teachers and educators, continue to inspire and educate our young people. Teach them not only academic skills, but also the values of respect, empathy, and responsibility. Help them to see the value of their lives and the potential they have to contribute positively to our society. To the business community, you have the power to make a difference by investing in our youth. Provide job opportunities, mentorship, and training programs that can help young people build successful careers and stay out of trouble. Support community initiatives that promote safety and security and be a partner in our efforts to create a safer St. Kitts and Nevis. To our faith-based organization, you are the moral compass of our society. Continue to preach the values of peace, love, and forgiveness. Provide support to those who are struggling and help to heal the wounds of those who have been afflicted by violence. And to the members of our security forces, again, you have our full support. but with that support comes great responsibility. We expect you to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and respect for human rights. We expect you to be vigilant, proactive, and relentless in your pursuit of justice. And we expect you to work hand in hand with the communities you serve to build trust, cooperation, and mutual respect. And let me be clear, we are all in this together. The fight against crime is not just the responsibility of the government or the police. It is the responsibility of every citizen of this nation. We must all do our part to create a safer, more peaceful St. Kitts and Nevis. But despite the challenges we face, I am optimistic about our future. I am optimistic about our future. I believe in the resilience, strength, and spirit of the people of this nation. I believe that together we can overcome the scourge of violence and build a brighter, safer future for our children. We overcame slavery. We overcame colonization. And if we overcame those violent structures of government, we as a people can certainly overcome this scourge. Let us not forget that the majority of our people are law-abiding citizens who want nothing more than to live in peace and harmony. Let us not allow the actions of a few to define who we are as a nation. Instead, let us come together as one people, united in our determination to build a better future. The government is also exploring innovative crime prevention initiatives to address the root causes of violence and create safer environments for all of our citizens. We are enhancing our collaboration with international partners, such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, to strengthen our border security and crack down on the illegal importation on firearms, or of firearms. We are also working closely with CARICOM member states to share intelligence and resources in the fight against transnational crime. Technology plays a crucial role in modern crime prevention. We are strengthening our closed-circuit television, CCTV network, through partnership with the government of China, Taiwan, and the cable to achieve island-wide surveillance. This expanded network will provide our law enforcement agencies with real-time data, enabling them to monitor and respond to incidents more effectively. We believe in equipping our police officers with the best possible training to ensure they are prepared to handle the complexities of modern law enforcement. Officers have been exposed to advanced training opportunities in serial number restoration, crime scene investigation and management, police leadership, and more. We have sent officers to regional security systems, RSS, as well as to Taiwan, Latin America, the United States, and the EU for specialized training. To further bolster our security forces, the government has acquired new drones. These drones will enhance our surveillance capabilities around the clock, allowing us to monitor large areas more efficiently and effectively, and to detect and respond to criminal activities in real time. We have also reintroduced our canine unit as part of our tools to fight crime, and we are bolstering the customs with new detection technology to detect any illegal firearms that might be coming through our borders. In partnership with the United States Regional Maritime Awareness Capability, our MAC team, we are in the process of establishing a coastal radar system. This system will provide critical surveillance of our coastal areas, helping to prevent illegal activities such as drug trafficking and unauthorized maritime entry. The technical survey results have already been completed, and we look forward to implementing this advanced security measure in short time. We recognize the importance of engaging our youth in positive activities. Therefore, the security forces, through its program, has engaged our young people in football and other activities to help them to stay on the straight and narrow. We also conducted a 2-week camp which included conflict prevention and resolution, discipline, and mentorship. To strengthen our law enforcement capacity, the recruitment process for new police officers has begun. We are actively seeking individuals who are committed to upholding the law and serving their communities with integrity and dedication. The St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force continues to lend vital support to the police in our fight against crime. Joint patrols and operations will continue and would have been increased. Our soldiers are engaged in ongoing training courses to build their capacity, ensuring they are ready to assist in maintaining law and order. Additionally, the recruitment process for new recruits is underway in the military as well. This afternoon, for example, we will witness the graduation ceremony of over 40 Sea Cadets who have successfully completed the 2024 Summer Sea Cadet Program, marking a significant milestone in their development. In addition to strengthening our security forces, we are addressing the root causes of crime by tackling issues related to substance abuse. The Cabinet has approved a new national drug policy developed by National Council on Drug Abuse and Prevention. This policy, reviewed by the Institutional Strengthening Unit of the Inter-American Drug Abuse Control Commission within the Organization of American States, will serve as a national education, guidance, and management tool for the treatment and care of persons suffering from addiction and substance abuse. This comprehensive approach will help to reduce the impact of drug-related crime and support the rehabilitation of those affected by substance abuse. As part of our commitment to supporting those affected by substance abuse, we are pleased to announce the construction of a new outreach center. This vital facility has already passed the procurement stage, and construction is set to begin. The outreach center will serve as the headquarters for this National Drug Council and will also function as a treatment center for persons afflicted with drug addiction and abuse. This center will be a beacon of hope for many, offering a safe space for rehabilitation and recovery, and further solidifying our efforts to address drug-related issues in our communities. But as I've said before, the success of these initiatives depend on the active participation of the entire community. And we don't purport to have all of the answers. That is why we are having this stakeholders meeting today, because we recognize that there must be answers residing in your communities, in your organizations as well. We must all work together, therefore, to create a culture of peace, respect, and responsibility. We must all take ownership of the safety and security of our communities. To the young men and women of St. Kitts and Nevis, you are the future of this nation. Your potential is limitless, and your contributions are invaluable. Do not let violence, crime, or negativity define your path. Instead, seize the opportunities before you and pursue your dreams. To the families who have lost loved ones to violence, I know that no words can ease your pain, but I want you to know that we are committed to ensuring that no more families have to endure the same heartache. We are determined to bring those responsible to justice and to prevent further tragedies. And to the perpetrators of violence, know that your actions have consequences. Your actions must be condemned by whole of society. We will not allow you to terrorize our communities or destroy the lives of innocent people. Therefore, we will find you, we will prosecute you, and we will ensure that justice is served. To this end, we have increased penalty for firearm possession. We will pass in very short order legislation for judge-only trial to bring criminals to justice, swiftly and fairly, of course. And we will outlaw all gangs in St. Kitts and Nevis, meaning that if you are in a gang, a part of a gang, you are violating the law, and that has consequences. Let us therefore remember that St. Kitts and Nevis is a small nation with a big heart. We are a nation of strong, resilient, and compassionate people. We have faced challenges before, and we have always risen above them. This challenge is no different. So together, we will reclaim our streets, restore peace to our communities, and build a safer, stronger St. Kitts and Nevis for future generations. Let us move forward with determination, with hope, and with the firm belief that we will overcome this scourge of violence and crime. Let us fight to preserve every life, because as I've said before, every life is precious, and that should drive our actions. And with that, I want to thank all of you once again for being here. I want to thank all of you for showing the commitment. And I want to thank all of you for having the open mind with which you will approach dealing with the scourge of violence and crime from a public health perspective, meaning all hands on deck. And with that, I want to ask God to continue to bless our beloved St. Kitts and Nevis. And I look forward to a very engaging session and also all of the sessions that are to come and the activities that are to come. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you today.